after is like, it makes my strike its own visual thing that's like, oh, he just got kicked. He just got punched. So it's not a tag back. It's its own insult, I guess. See how he just stays right on me? Like, he doesn't let me. When I say using distance as defense, there's a bad way to do that and there's a good way to do that. The bad way to do that is to just be way out of range for anything. That's a terrible way to use defense, use space as defense, because it's just not engaging. He uses space as defense in that he's just out of range, so someone has to be off balance in order to like reach across that space. And so when I walked away from him right there, he stayed right on me because he never lets people get past where the end of his punch is, whether he's defensive or offensive. He's making a point here about how you have to train like this every day, like you're not going to get it all at once. He's reassuring me in this very sweet way that like it's difficult right now because I don't do this every day. Wangchannoi is one of the sweetest, scary people I've ever met in my life. He's really intimidating. Like, he's very a scary fighter. He's incredibly sweet and encouraging in the way that he actually teaches. So see how he's putting together these punches and knees and kicks? He's making me feel how to fill that space, how to like take up that space as I'm advancing on him. Jangwa.
Padman creates the
rhythm.
Patterns and rhythm.
This is why your Padman is so important in like building your style. You may have all the ideas in the world of what you want your style to be. If you don't have that kind of Padman, you will not be that style. See how it's just filling space in front of you, like gradually. There's no like running after someone. There's no. In our first session together, it was the first time that someone had really yelled at me a lot about rushing on bag work. He made this whole point about Jangwa on bag work, and he's the first person who introduced to me the idea that you build Jangwa, you learn Jangwa on the bag. So even when I miss something like that, I should still be invading his space a little bit. Like if he takes another step back, I should just be taking a step with him. Even if my weapon doesn't come out, that's okay. I should just be stuck to him. So he's making a point here about how your punches have to switch with your knees and your kicks. So you're mixing everything together. So you can't just come forward punching and you can't just kick a knee. It has to be this kind of like everything is mixing together. The difference between those two kicks was me being able to punch him and me not being able to punch him. The day before, he showed this absolutely gorgeous drag kick against the bag. You should go back and watch that. It looks like this. He hides it by like dragging it across the ground like that.
He starts with a little bit of a crouch.
But he's talking about if a kick is too short, you can get punched at the same time. See how he turns his body and puts his shin kind of flat? See how he turns like that? He can actually keep his shin locked, and I won't be able to reach over his kick to punch him. It's like defensive at the same time. So my head just went out of the way right there. You don't want to lean super hard on a kick so that you lose the power in the kick, but you want to get your head offline a little bit. So see how he's just moving his body? He's just like elongating his body. Bit dua. This means to like turn your hip is what we would say, but it means to like turn your body. So when he catches my kick, I kind of harden my leg, I like stiffen my leg and then push him with my shin. It's the same thing as when you get your teep caught and you like teep again, but it's with your shin. He actually jumps up a little bit so that as his standing leg hits the ground, he kind of pops his legs apart like this, and so you're shoving them off at the same time as your foot is landing, and it's got a lot of power to it. Shadow box, that's not realistic. You have to picture that someone is going to be coming after you, so you have to teep. Someone's going to be trying to cut you off, so how do you angle away? How do you block? This again, he's making a point about my changwa. He's like, raw, raw, raw. This means wait, like wait and see what they're doing. See how he's like advancing, but he's not running around everywhere. He's very paced. It looks like he has someone in front of him. Like you can't just run after somebody.
Finish him.
He's watching my face. He can see that I actually am not picturing anything. I'm trying a little bit, but I'm also trying to like do all the things that he taught me. I really have to picture someone in front of me to understand like when would I block, when would I come forward.
He's all about visualizing. Like everything is like that person is right in front of you.
Yeah, and punishing.
So he's showing me. He's like right here, like right in front of you.
Punishment.
This is so helpful, you guys, for like when you're learning shadowboxing. Also watch the Yodkun Pan shadowboxing video. It's like an entire hour of him teaching shadowboxing. But the importance of... I didn't kill anybody there. The importance of shadowboxing and visualization in shadowboxing cannot be overstated. Look at, he's not rushing. He's working his way in, and then he has his kill shot at the end. The kill. So I'm saying that people act like they can do these kind of like the way that you do knees on the bag. They act like they can just hold and throw all of these knees. And he's saying even if someone lands like one or two of them, you wait for your timing to then get out of the way and nail them with a really strong knee. This is something that people forget about scoring in Muay Thai, is that if you catch 5 little fish and then your competitor comes in with like a 10-pound bass, you lose. That's like an amazingly big fish. So your one really distinct, really powerful, potentially knockout knee scores higher than 5 little ones in Thai scoring. Basically, when he feels you feel his power, it builds his confidence. He knows he's hurting you, and he doesn't care if anyone else saw it, because he knows you know. So he's saying, if I punch up top here and you block it, I have confidence. I know that these shovel hooks underneath are going to land. So he's like, you can block down low, and then I know you're open up top. Even if he's hooking me and I try to elbow him on the other side, if he hooks me hard enough, that's going to knock my elbow's power completely out. So even if I hit him with the elbow, there's no power on it. It's like how you teep someone's standing leg while they're kicking. There's going to be no power in the kick at all.
That's the step right there.
You can hear how much Kevin likes this movement. Standing in front of it is less, oh my God, that's beautiful, and more like, holy shit, this is awful. Wall in order to punch so I don't flare my elbow. That's what he's doing with his arm now. He's putting his arm on the outside of my punch so that I can't flare out. He's basically corralling the trajectory of my punch. Look. He's like, if you punch like this and you just kind of land here, nothing. So you kind of drag your knuckles down. His coil, his like rotation coil for his power is very much like Chachai Sasakun. They probably had the same teacher at the Indie, even though their ages are very different. I assume the like lineage and teaching stayed over the years, and maybe even had the same teacher. It's the same like rotation, like a barrel rolling to get that power. Oh. I like this. I like this way that he's holding for that uppercut across. You can feel them enough that you're just kind of doing this repetitive, in the flow of things work. Here he's making a point about how if you don't have your guard up and you're covering all these distances quickly, you're gonna like chawn into someone's elbow. So this is why you want to control your body all the time, is that you're not falling into anybody. So I'm understanding his point about kicking the opponent's legs is that this is going to slow them down. You're going to put them in quicksand for the later rounds, which is great when you're trying to go in and finish someone with knees or any kind of close weapon later in a fight. So he's just doing his little like distance checks with me. That lunge forward is seeing whether I'm going to like go shy or whether I'm going to like sway and move with his change of distance. So he's holding it at his chest, which is my chin. So even though he's holding it very low, that's for an opponent my size, like right into their chin. I really like this. So what he's saying is you actually fake grabbing the opponent in the clinch. So he's being me. You fake grabbing them in the clinch. And if they're tight, if their guard is tight, you change and throw an elbow on that same side. It is, you do not anticipate that at all. It's very scary. So when I'm checking, like when I'm grabbing for the clinch, if he's loose and I can grab him, I just actually grab him. If he's too tight for me to grab him, he's locked me out, that's when you throw the elbow, because their whole side is tight against you, and so they're not going to be able to have the flexibility to guard against that elbow. So Cherry is saying use your weight. What he means by that is once you get your little latch on, drop your weight down. Like you're basically putting your weight over someone or pulling them down all the time. Watch Meow's face and you'll see when I have the lock and when I don't. And he's pushing on my shoulder because he wants me to do that squeeze. So you're putting pressure on two sides. I'm putting pressure from my elbow of my left arm. That's pushing into his chest. And then my right arm should be doing that squeeze with the shoulder kind of going into Ngau's throat. And then see how I'm trying to get my hip back a little bit and keep my legs wide? This gives the range of motion of my legs so that I can drag Ngau around, I can change angles, and I can land knees. If I'm locked, my body all locked against him in the same way that my top is locked against him, I can't land anything and I can't move him.